Welcome to Doge's Random Rants, the podcast where Doge randomly rants. I know, that's insane. So today I'm talking about how much I hate being a YouTuber, and how much being a YouTuber is terrible, and how much, you get the point. I don't know what I'm going to talk about in this. This is second channel, so, yeah, be subscribed if you haven't already. This isn't my main channel. But, the point is, this second channel, it's lower effort. This podcast is going to be lower effort. That's what you should expect. But I'm just going to rant about random things. You read the name, okay? It's Doge Master randomly ranting. Yeah. So it kind of sucks make a YouTube video. There's kind of a lot of issues. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to talk about this. Can I stretch this to an hour, maybe 90 minutes, or is it just going to end up being like 20 minutes? Let's see. I mean, you can already see. But the point is, being YouTube bad, but I like the platform. So obviously this is clickbait in a way, right? Like obviously I don't hate being a YouTuber. I love it and it's very fun and I enjoy making content and all of that stuff. I love seeing what people think about the content, all of that, right? I can preface this by saying that you probably already guessed that. I would just make that very clear. But there's some things I don't like. There's some issues I have with doing it. It's not necessarily with the platform itself. I'm just basically gonna go over like the process of like making content. And how that is for me and how I sort of feel and like some of the problems and issues and like negative feelings I have when I do that. So we're going to preface this with just like starting a video, I guess. Let's just walk through the process, and then I can gradually make complaints. So recording the video is obviously the first part, but before you reach that first part, there is a real first part, which is figuring out the video, like what you're gonna do in the video, right? You got to figure out an idea that's going to get views that people want to watch. It's not necessarily about the view count. Obviously, that's nice, that's motivating, and it's demotivating when it isn't high, which we'll get onto later. Um, so yeah, it's not all about the views, right? As I said, I like seeing the numbers go up, and it really sucks when it doesn't go up, which we'll go on about. The reason I'm repeating myself is because I just had to cut, I had to edit something, I had to take a breather. Because doing a podcast by yourself, this is my first time really doing something like that. I do live streams quite often, but you sort of get more breathing room, like as you're actually playing Fall Guys and stuff. And as you're sort of like asking questions, waiting for the chat to respond and stuff, you get a lot more breathing room. Whereas I don't really have that, and I've already talked quite a bit today. Not for videos, just like talking. Um, so yeah, but basically, yeah, while the numbers aren't everything, they are like a focus, and the numbers mean that people are enjoying the content. So the goal is to get the numbers up, and then that means the highest amount possible of people are enjoying it. It's not just the views, but it's also about like getting the positive comments and all of that. I love reading comments, and I love seeing like the watch time and like the CTR. If any of you are YouTubers, I'm sure some content creators are watching this, whether you make focused content or otherwise, or have made content in the past, or have like done it casually, or like if you actually do it like often, whatever it is, right? A lot of you will know. Like the feeling of just looking at those analytics, and if you don't worry. I'm going to what was I gonna say? I don't know. This is a second channel. I can say whatever I want. So I've gotten the point across that like numbers don't mean everything, but we want to see them go up. We want people to enjoy the videos. So coming up with the idea, right? We're only just getting on to that like 4 minutes in. Coming up with the actual idea for the video is the first part, which isn't too hard. Honestly, I can come up with plenty of ideas. Like the main problem with doing it necessarily is just trying to figure out sort of what will work best, what people most want to see, because there are some like easy videos that I can do that might not give like the best viewer experience, but they will still get like the views up and like make money, whatever else. Obviously, I can't avoid that topic. Like, there are some YouTubers. I'm not going to call out anyone in particular. I'm not thinking of anyone in particular. I can't really think of anyone within the Follies community particularly, but just like YouTube as a whole, there are people who clickbait, just try and get the numbers up, try and get money, whatever else. So I'll just go for they'll just go for the, you know, the easy ideas that will get the most views that are quite clickbaity. Some examples could be like I'll give examples on my own videos that aren't actually clickbait, but they're like they sort of fit like the general theme some more. I don't know how to say it. Okay, so like my most popular Fall Guys video, right, is Fall Guys giving you 7 free skins. If you're listening to this, then it's not that important. But if you're watching, then you can see the thumbnail right here. And so the title is Fall Guys giving you 7 free skins. This was actually 7 free skins. Like this isn't clickbait or anything. But just by the thumbnail, you can see it says Xmas 2022 gift because this was December 2022, and it shows like a bundle in the shop that says it's completely free and that you can claim it, and it shows like a bunch of pixelated costumes in there like the Crash Tester and Dark Knight, and then it does have some of the actual free ones like the Christmas tree and the Nutcracker and Santa and Slope Rider. I don't know if all those were free, but I think most of them are. But that sort of thumbnail could definitely be considered like the clickbaity type. The point I'm not getting about the thumbnails, but I'm talking about the general idea. It's just the fact that I don't ever make a video that's just like straight up lying. It's hard for me to give a proper example without like just trying to find another content creator to call out, which I don't want to do, and I don't know where I'd look for that. But yeah, there's that, and then okay, I guess a thumbnail that was kind of clickbait, right? Huge Fall Guys update is about to release. It shows massive season 4.2 update. Now, this was a big update, right? But a lot of this was based in leaks that wasn't necessarily happening. And the thumbnail shows winter and survival themes and modes coming to creative when they weren't necessarily coming. I was expecting medieval, but I wasn't not expecting winter and survival. Now, the only reason winter's in that thumbnail is because I couldn't find the medieval thing from leaks, okay? But like, just imagine I titled that video as if those were actually releasing. I know the thumbnail is kind of misleading. I can say that, but that wasn't intentional. Like, those were the stuff that was kind of expected, or like close to that, and that was the stuff that was discussed. Like, we discussed those modes even if they weren't necessarily coming in that update. So just imagine I made a video that was like survival mode coming in the next update, or what else? I'm just scrolling through my channel right now. It's hard to see exactly. Okay, there's another one about SS5 getting delayed, but that was before we knew that seasons were cancelled, so I don't think I can count that. It was an actual delay, but before we fully knew. But you get the point, right? There's like more appealing titles and like ideas than normal. So there's some of those that can be like completely clickbaity. So it's kind of hard to balance like what do people want to see, but also what content do I want to make and what do I want to sort of deliver on. Wow, we're 8 minutes in and I've like said nothing. This is what you should come to expect from Doge's random rants, okay? This is exactly what your expectation should be. This is the content you signed up for. If you don't like it, then why are you watching? Okay, I shouldn't feel like trying to convince you not to watch. Okay, we're going to keep moving on with the topic now. So we've talked enough about the video idea for sure. Like just coming up with something that sort of balances that. Like, obviously, I don't want to do clickbait. I don't want to mislead because like the number one goal, as I think. I just got a desktop notification. That was very scary. That jump scared me. Okay. This is Doge's random rants. That's can I rant about that desktop notification? Right. I have like Roblox notifications on. Right. This is a complete tangent, but this is what you should come to expect. Does anyone? Is there a way for me to like quickly just like turn off? Or browser notifications? I use a Chromium-based browser. Is there a way for me to turn those off? Because I swear those always interrupt me. Like, this will be muted on the video, on the podcast, but, and I mute it on live streams normally, but those sounds just, like, jump scare me randomly sometimes. Like, I'm just, like, recording or whatever, and then I just get suddenly jump scared, by, like, a notification, you know, like the Windows notification sound. I always get jump scared. It happens quite a lot. But these are notifications I can't bother to turn off. Does anyone know how I can just turn off browser notifications altogether without like doing anything in Windows? Is it just like a setting in Chromium browsers? Please, thank you. I could rant all day about how annoying those are. These are like Roblox notifications. I barely even play Roblox anymore. So I could easily turn them off, but like that's any way of doing it is effort. All right, let's actually get back to the topic. I'm determined. We're gonna get through this topic, okay? So yeah, so it is really hard to balance, sort of like the idea, but I can do it. I think most of the time I can do it quite effectively. Like it's an idea I want to do. Hold on, let me look at my recent videos. That'll be easier for me to come to an example. A video about Fall Guys finally listening to the community. Now you don't have to watch that. I'm not going to give too much context, but this was a video sort of praising Mediatonic. Now I know that generally like negativity is normally what people want to see. That's just like you guys seen the news, the media, you guys seen social media, all of that like negativity and like even on YouTube. Hence me mentioning this, even on YouTube, like the negativity is always what gets more views, and like when you just complain and complain, and it's easier than trying to be positive about something. But that was a video like I genuinely felt like, I want to make this. Like, it tells the community some stuff that they might not know about Fall Guys, and how the communication is going. And the thumbnail, like, shows it as well as the title. That's not important. I'm not going to put it on screen. But yeah, that's quite a simple video to make. It only took, like, a couple hours. So, it's not, like, the best example, but it's just, like, a recent one I can really easily mention and talk about. So, like, that's a video, I wanted to make. So like the idea of it, like the execution, all of that, that like I had full motivation to make. But then, is there any videos like I directly didn't want to make? I feel like the hardest thing is when it's sort of like time pressure. Or like as primarily Fall Guys news, I also do plenty of gameplay videos, and I'm trying to do even more, and I do live streams, all of that. I don't want to be seen just as Fall Guys news, but I feel like that is still like primarily one of the main things of my YouTube channel. So I feel like a lot of the sort of lack of motivation is when there's those sort of like news videos where it's like Fall Guys just announced something crazy, you know, like when they originally announced the Warriors of Light Fame Pass, the 4th Fame Pass. We originally thought that was an SS5 delay. We don't need to get into the fact that it wasn't, but like just the fact of that, like the news was interesting. Like obviously I read it, but the problem is like when you've got videos like that, there's a real like deadline sorta, and I don't even think I got the video out like at the right time. I think it was like a few days off. It was literally the video after my Fame Pass 3 reaction video, so obviously there's a gap between those two, but you sort of get the point there. If it's sort of like more pressured to do it, I don't know how to explain it properly. There is just like a motivation problem like with the whole ideas, but I do generally do ideas that I really care about, and one of the main things I do care about is keeping the community up to date, so that is like the main motivation, and then also just seeing comments and seeing people enjoy the videos. Those are the main things. Okay, we've discussed this enough about the actual ideas. Let's get on with like the rest of the process of making a video. Let's go a bit quicker, because we're 13 minutes in and I've said like nothing really. So after the idea is done, I'm happy with the idea, whatever, I'm motivated, then recording is honestly the most fun part. I love recording. I love just recording a video. Now, sometimes there'll be something frustrating, particularly if I am recording like a news video or like an info video, or just sort of like a discussion video where I'm not like actively playing Fall Guys. One of the big issues is like most of those videos are like mostly scripted. Some stuff will be a bit off script. Like obviously it will feel too fake if like the thing's 100% scripted, and I do like modify the script, and it is like the way I talk. It's just easier for me to sort of make a shorter video, sort of more concise, sort of like better laying everything out rather than having it drag on. It's definitely easier for me to do that if the video, if it's scripted, so then I just have to read out the script that I've written it myself. It's still my fault. It's just like pre-written for myself, and it also allows me to do subtitles easier. But anyway, the thing is with those sorts of videos is it's like it's not very what should I say? It's not very interesting, like recording the actual like thing there. yeah, I feel like the scripting is the more fun part, 'cause that's like getting all the information out and typing it up, and then just reading it out is like it doesn't take much. Um, we're talking about like both aspects of videos here. I'm just going over the scripted ones first. It does get quite frustrating if I like mess up the script, if I stutter, if I have to like repeat a line. Sometimes like I'll do it halfway through a line and like I'll mess up and then I'll start like halfway through a line, stuff like that. I mess up a lot of lines. I'm not good at speaking, as you can probably see on this it's more free-form sort of podcast style. Hopefully making these podcasts like the Forecast and Random Rants, hopefully this will just get me better at speaking. You know, like it's gonna be fun to make these, but also if that's a skill that I can develop, because I guess this is something I can briefly mention. I don't really like talk to people very often. Like maybe you'd think from like the amount of YouTube videos I make and stuff, maybe you'd think I'm a bit better at talking, but I don't do it that much, honestly. Like I'm normally real quiet, so I feel like I do have like underdeveloped like skills with speaking, socializing. It's not really socializing, but it is sort of like conversational format in a way when you're making a video, like you're talking to a viewer, like I'm talking to you right now, even though like I'm not talking to you, like you can't say anything back. If you comment, I'll see it, but like you know, it's different. I don't have to explain it. You get the point. You're not stupid. So yeah, that's something I'm hoping can be improved, but it's just really frustrating to like mess up lines. Um, um, like sometimes it's stuttering, sometimes it's just saying the wrong thing, sometimes I miss a line and then like this sentence doesn't make sense, what am I doing? And like having to re-record stuff, or like accidentally knock my desk. I don't know how much it comes across in my actual like news and informational videos, like in the final cut of them, like that you actually see uploaded on my channel. I don't know exactly how noticeable it really is, like the amount of cuts and edits there are, but there is quite a lot because I do mess up a lot, and that is quite frustrating. Um, as much as I like making those sort of news style videos and like seeing people get like the information out of them, that feels really rewarding. But like the process of making it, like after the scripting, the recording and editing is just really tedious, and it's just full of those mistakes. And it's not very creatively challenging. Like it's the scripting, and then I guess the thumbnail. Are really the only things where I feel like when I'm recording a different type of video, I want to make it very clear. Like I love making YouTube videos, as I prefaced in the intro. I'm not saying I hate making any type of video. It's just that there are frustrations, and like it's not all like 100% perfect all the time. But when I'm making my sort of gameplay videos, I feel like that is a lot better. Like it's unscripted. I still do like stutter a lot, but I feel like it's a lot more fun. Sometimes Fall Guys does frustrate me as well, and sometimes there are other ways that I get frustrated, but just making those videos, it's really good, and it's really fun. Recording is maybe my favourite part of the process, like recording a gameplay video. I guess also reading comments after it's uploaded, but I mean for parts of the actual process, I think the recording is the most fun. I don't know how well that comes across like in the actual videos. I don't know how much it might sometimes seem like fake enthusiasm, but it is like all 99% real. Obviously, like it's a different personality when recording, but it's not actually that different. So yeah, you can tell I really enjoy that, hopefully, because I definitely do. Where was I going exactly? Um, uh, um, uh, uh, um, 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 uh, uh, oh my god. I'm not editing this podcast. I'm sorry. I'm editing like the start and the end. I mean, I'm just pausing the recording in OBS since it has a pause feature. I'm just pausing whenever I need to like take a break to quickly sip some of my drink or stuff like that, or just like figure out what I'm gonna say. But just stuttering and stuff like that, I'm not bothering editing out. This is like you know what you signed up for. You've been in this for 20 minutes. You're clear. If anyone's watching this, maybe there's no one. But anyway, yeah, this is cool. Right, let's get on with that. So yeah, I love recording, and with the scripted informational videos, it isn't like as good because I'm not like playing Fall Guys while recording. I record the background footage, but that's obviously separate. That's just me playing Fall Guys. But when I'm like recording an actual gameplay video, or same as streaming really, but we're just talking about recording here. I'll get a bit onto live streaming later. It's fun. It's just so the ideas we've said are pretty fine. Like I can work out a balance. Like I don't want to be clickbaity, but and I want to make videos that I want to watch or not want to. I guess okay, I make videos that I personally would want to watch, but then that's also like the videos I'm interested in doing. But it's sort of finding the overlap in like the videos I'm interested in doing and that most possible viewers will want to see, and that I think would make an entertaining video as well as a fun to record. So that's the balance, and I feel like I do a pretty good job most of the time. Obviously, there's some times where maybe a video idea is like a little bit more out there. Maybe more appealing to viewer and less appealing to me, or maybe vice versa. Maybe it's something I just really want to do, and I'll just see how it performs, and if it gets less views than usual, it doesn't matter too much. Some people still got enjoyment out of it if they chose to click on it. Right, that's the ideas. We're definitely gone over that now. Enough. And for recording, the editing, this applies to both the scripted videos and the gameplay videos. The editing, you've probably heard me complain enough. If you're like in my community enough to be on my second channel, you've probably seen me complaining like on live streams, community post, Twitter. Yeah, I recently made a Twitter, and that's honestly been pretty good. Shameless plug for not pug. I was going to say plug follow me at real Doge Master, but you don't have to. I'm just saying I post stuff there now. You've put up with me speaking for over 20 minutes. You don't have to. But the point is, right, I've hired some editors recently. Like I'm paying a few different people to help me with editing. So a lot of my more recent videos and like in the future, you'll slowly start to be seeing a few different editing styles, and that means they're not edited by me. They have been watched by me. They have like I've given my feedback on it. I've given some notes like before and after it's edited. Sometimes they'll need like new revisions and like changes. So it's still like close to my style, but the point is it's different people doing it, and that does help with the motivation because as I was going on to say, the thing I dislike the most is editing, and that's really difficult to like sort of say why, because like it's not like I dislike editing necessarily. I guess it's sort of hard to just like get into it, because it's just sort of like a tedious time-consuming process. It doesn't necessarily mean it's like bad or unenjoyable, but like with the process being so long, being so tedious, taking so long, and like some of it is creatively challenging, but then a lot of it can just be sort of like you just watch all of the footage that was recorded, like for the footage that I already recorded. I already felt myself record. I was there in the recording. Like I recorded the video. You get it, right? If I recorded the video, then I was there for recording, and then when I'm watching back the footage for editing, I'm watching stuff that I've already recorded, so I've like already watched it. So like having to rewatch the entire footage, which it really depends widely. It ranges widely depending on what the video actually is, but the footage can be like over an hour long sometimes, like having to sit through that, and like a 1 hour footage does not mean it'll only take 1 hour to edit. It means it will take ages, because like I've got to go through all that, find stuff that can be cut out, and then after I got to watch it again, see if there's anything else that can be cut out that I missed, go through, add like the little subtitles that sometimes pop up on the screen, got to do the intro takes longer than it seems, got to do those other edits, got to do like the zooms, got to do sound effects. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and although it is quite fun once you get into it, you can see like sort of the overwhelming nature of it. Like this sort of sort of a lot going on. So it's sort of like a big commitment to start editing a video. So like obviously when I get into it, it's fine. But if I like take a break, or like say I'll come back to this another day, or I'm like, I don't feel like this, I'll do it later. That kind of thing happens a lot. I mean, it's normally quite hard to like get back into it. So yeah. I I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Like it's editing's fun, but sort of like getting into it, like getting started after recording something, like getting started with actually editing it. Some of you will have seen like videos I recorded months ago still aren't out, like the Doge Army. Actually, when this podcast released, the first episode will be out yesterday. If you're watching this podcast in the future, then obviously it could be different, and both parts could be out already. But part one released 8th of September 8th. Yes, and this episode is on the 9th. It's 2023, in case any of you are watching far in the future, which I don't know why you would, but maybe this podcast has blown up and has millions of people watching it, and maybe people going back to the first episode. Who knows? Okay, so yeah, we've definitely gone over the editing now. We've gone over the editing. I think I've made very clear. So I'm getting some help with like editing, so I don't have to be the one to do it. And quick sort of side note with that, and having some of the people helping, it doesn't mean like all the videos are going to be edited by them. I'm still going to be doing a fair amount, but in theory, this should mean there's more uploads because there's more people editing when I'm not. But it also should mean higher quality videos because I can spend longer editing each one that I'm doing individually, and so can every other editor because there's multiple editors. It's like, say it takes, I don't know, these are just random numbers. These don't actually equate to anything, but let's say it takes 4 days to make a video. Obviously it varies, but let's say it takes 4 days to make a video, and let's say I've got 4 editors including myself. So if it takes 4 days, then that would normally mean a video every 4 days if I'm doing it myself. But if I've got 4 people working on a video every 4 days on a good cycle, that is daily uploads, and I don't think I'm going to daily uploads. Like, there really isn't enough time for that with like all the other content I want to do, but we can probably get close to it. But also, one other thing I was going to mention is I feel like since I don't have to edit, like one of the biggest problems with the motivation to edit for me, I feel like, is sort of feeling like just like obligated to do it. Like I don't have a choice. Like if I want to get this video out right, I've got to edit it. I feel like that's a big problem with like motivation, like just being forced to do something, and like obviously it's not forced, and like I love making YouTube videos, but that sort of creates like a bad sort of association if it's something you don't really want to do but you feel like you have to do it. So I think just the fact that it's like, if I don't feel like editing, if I'm not in the mood, or maybe if I did edit, like I'd do a bad job because I don't feel like it, I want to just get it done quickly. I feel like with that sort of mindset previously, it would just mean like worse content, and just feel like not making not doing editing at all, because yeah, like why do editing if if like I feel forced. Yeah, so I think the fact that I've got help with it, again, that's not going to be every video, but like the fact that as many videos as I want, I can get assistance with editing. By assistance, I just mean like they'll do it for me, but I do give guidance, as I mentioned earlier. So with all that in mind, I feel like the motivation to make content, and specifically editing, because as I've mentioned as well, editing is definitely the hardest part for me, and like the hardest part to sort of get into, and sort of like the biggest bottleneck for making YouTube videos. The fact that should hopefully be getting resolved. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be motivated to edit all the time, but it should be a lot more frequent. Hopefully that's how that'll work. And like there's still some other issues with YouTube, but like we're not done yet. We're half an hour in nearly, but there's still more to talk about, which I guess is good. This is going to be a bit longer. I've gone on some tangents, but hey, those are random rants. That's what you got to expect. Okay. So after editing, or sometimes before, it really depends. Title is normally fine. Sometimes I struggle, but like it's sort of a creative thing. It's not like it takes that much effort. It's just sort of like brain just thinking like what's the best title that isn't like misleading and like viewers know what they're clicking on. What's the best thing? What's the best thing? What was I talking about? Oh well, I've forgotten what I was talking about. Oh yeah, titles. So yeah, it's like just thinking of the best title that like most clickable, but also like sells the video really. Because like if you make a misleading title, like irrelevant of like getting more people to click on it, irrelevant of like the morals of that. Obviously, that's wrong to just mislead people, but if you're doing that, whether intentionally or not, it means people will click off the video real fast once they realize the title was lying, and also the thumbnail, which you're about to get onto, which is a lot more challenging. So yeah, there's a balance with the title because if people click off the video immediately, even if 100% of people who see the video click on it, which is obviously impossible, but just for the sake of making this point, let's say 100% of people click on a video with like an amazing title, like how to get 9 million free show books working 2024, 2025, 2032, no virus, real. If you click on a video like that and it's got like a really oversaturated thumbnail and stuff, cool, you're probably going to click on that. That seems awesome. 9 million free show books. But then when you click on it, it's just someone playing Fall Guys. You're going to click off super quickly, find another video to watch, and then that tells YouTube that video is clickbait. This isn't giving viewers a good experience, so it won't show them. That was like a really long tangent to explain something super basic, and I didn't need to explain it that much, but there you go, I didn't know. So the point is, titles aren't that hard, just as long as you find that balance, which I don't usually struggle with. Sometimes for videos it's hard to really think of a title, like the part 1 and 2 of the Doge Army videos, something, for like quite a few possible titles. And for the first episode of the Fallcast a couple of weeks ago, talking centric about the future of Fall Guys, now, obviously, that isn't clickbait, or like that is exactly what the video is, but that title was sort of hard to come up with because there are a lot of other options and such. So yeah, there are some videos where the title is a struggle, but okay, for the most part, that's not an issue. But then we get onto thumbnails. It's sort of a similar story where like you've got to think of a thumbnail that it's really the same, right? A thumbnail is just sort of like a visual of a title. Obviously, it's a lot hard to make and it has a lot more elements and like thought put into it, but it serves the same purpose and it has the same sort of guidelines where like if it's clickbait, it's not going to do good. You want to just be honest with it, but also make it quite clickable as well. Just have it represent the content and be appealing. Sometimes it's a bit hard to come up with thumbnails, and this is really nicely getting on to like the main topic I want to talk about in this, which is a thumbnail. It's hard to really predict how it will do, and same with a title really. But any YouTube creators watching this, you might know the 1 to 10 ranking in YouTube Studio, or even if you're not a YouTuber, you might still know about it. You might have heard your favorite creators talking about it. We're about to get onto that. So basically, when you put a lot of effort into making a thumbnail, let's say like I can't think of an idea. No, let's say I can think of an idea because that's easier. Sometimes I can't, but we've already talked about that with the title as well. If I can't think of a thumbnail, I'll figure something out. But the problem is when a thumbnail underperforms, it's sort of like a rush to like try and change it, mess around with it. Like, if you could look on screen right now, if you see this Cursed SpongeBob Challenge thumbnail. Now, this is the original thumbnail. You can see it's just Squidward turning into a handsome Squidward, and it says lose equals cursed. I think that represents the video quite well. This is my Fall Guys Cursed SpongeBob Challenge, so it means if I lose the challenge, then I have to buy the cursed costume. I think that represents it well enough. I don't know how appealing that is to a viewer. That's hard to really really figure out. But if we just if we just think about that, yeah, that's the original thumbnail. But then this underperformed quite badly, so you might have seen other YouTubers do this, you might not have, you might be a YouTuber and you might have done this, or you might not have, but at least for me, what I do when a thumbnail is underperforming, when I get that stupid down arrow in YouTube analytics, which I'm going to rant about, that was the main goal of this video, was to rant about that, ranking on the down arrows and stuff, and even the up arrows, but you can see the change I made, it went from, it's similar, right? But it went from Squidward on the right, on the left, the normal Squidward, into a SpongeBob, just to show SpongeBob challenge. And then I also added the Fall Guys logo on the bottom. Really random change, I know. And I moved the red arrow slightly. I know these are really random changes, but like, I didn't know what was wrong with his thumbnail. Like, I know it might not be the most appealing. Like, I can appreciate that fact. This might not appeal to everyone, but the real thing is with this thumbnail, right? I don't see what else to do with it. So now we're actually getting on to the 10 of 10 ranking. Okay, one last thing I should mention before we get onto that, actually. After, like, all that's done with the video, then it's just, like, end screens, cards, description, pinned comment, all of that. Quite easy stuff to do. I don't really mind doing that. Like, it's not the most interesting, challenging, but it doesn't take much time. And then the rewarding part is seeing comments, seeing what people think about the video, and just having, you know, a finished product up after however much effort went into it, however long it's been, trying to get the video finished. Seeing it like finally up is rewarding, seeing people in the comments giving feedback, whether they liked it or even disliked it. The feedback's still important, but obviously people liking it is really cool to see. But something else you get, as I've touched on, is in the center of like front page of YouTube Studio, which is like a it like shows you how your YouTube videos are doing, for those who don't know. Like, it shows a bunch of data, analytics, whatever else. And right on like the front page, whenever you load that up, this is something that like every YouTuber loads up several times a day. So bear in mind, like, everything here you will see. It ranks your video 1 to 10. 1 being the best, 10 being the worst. So if it's a 1 out of 10, that means it's ranked like it's the best one out of your last 10 videos in terms of views in its current time period. So if you've had a video up for, let's say, 5 hours, or let's just say 24 hours, right? It can be any period of time, but let's say 24 hours, then out of your past 10 videos, YouTube will compare them all and how many views they had within the first 24 hours compared to the newest video you uploaded. So you'll get the comparison there, and if it says 1 of 10, like, you feel amazing. That video did great. It shows you that beautiful ranking. You even get confetti, which is amazing. And it feels great. As I said, that's awesome. And then if you get like 2 out of 10, still feels good. 3 out of 10 still feels good. You get 4 out of 10, and it's like, yeah, that's pretty good. You know, depending on what the type of video is, maybe you expected it to do better, or maybe you expected it to do worse. But then you get like 5, 6, and it starts going like, But then you get down to 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and then eventually it's bound to happen. You get a video that reaches that dreaded 10 of 10 ranking. It is your worst performing video out of your last 10. And that feels awful. Like, I try my best to disconnect myself from the analytics, because, like, as a creative, you've got to understand, like, not everything's your fault. Maybe the video was fine. Maybe it turned out good. Maybe, like, the right audience just didn't see it. Maybe YouTube didn't recommend it to the right people. Maybe the right audience was just watching something else. There could be any reason, and it's not necessarily your fault as a creator, or it might be something like you had no way of knowing, like, if the video is going to be received good or not. But literally, no matter what the reason, it feels awful. That is the most demotivating thing I think a YouTuber can see, like any content creator on YouTube. And yes, I know it should be ignored. I know it doesn't, like, show your value as a creator, And for any other creators watching this, I want to say, yeah, like don't let those analytics define you. Like, you can celebrate the success, sure, but you've got to understand, like, when it's a 10 of 10, it's not entirely your fault. You can just move on. It's just the grey down arrows, you know. It feels bad, you know. Like, my latest video, the Curse SpongeBob Challenge video, which has changed by the time this is watching, but right now this is my latest video. Which just this podcast is going up in a couple days because that's what I promised. That video was a 9 of 10, 6,200 views. Now, if I just hear that, sure, you see loads of creators getting millions of views, but that is like a minority, like top 0.001%, right? When you see 6,200 views, that is over 6,000 different people saw your video among, like, so many others, like, in the recommend. Just, like, think about your YouTube homepage, think about the for autoplay, think about all of that. Just think about how many videos it's competing against, how many billions, is it trillions? I'm gonna say billions, however many billions of videos are on YouTube, and even, like, obviously not all of those are shown, 99% of those won't be shown to a viewer, but just think about the ones that are shown. Even, like, your video is just going to be one of those that's shown out of, like, 20. I don't know, 20 is like a random number, it really depends where you see the video, but the point is, like, your video is shown among so many other ones that are all really good. Some of them will have millions of views, some of them will be Mr. Beast videos, I can't really think of any other big YouTubers, but you get the point. Like, your video is competing against so many others. It's like the fact that over 6,000 people choose to watch my video, even if that's a 9 of 10 ranking, who cares? Like, that like, yeah, it's still good. But you see the down arrow, you are being compared to your previous videos, and it is not doing as good as you think. And that's, like, the most demotivating thing. You'd think, okay, you look at these analytics, it also shows the average view duration and click-through rate, which, if you don't understand those analytics, if you don't know what I just said, that's completely fine. But it shows you these other analytics, and you can go more in depth, and compare to previous videos, or just, like, look overall. You can try figuring out, like, what point in the video did people click off? Where did people see this video more often? Maybe it got higher in YouTube search results but lower in the recommendations. Maybe it's just more like search-based content. Or maybe, like, a different audience is seeing it. Or maybe a lot of viewers from previous videos aren't returning for this one. Whatever else, you get so much data. So you'd think that'd be helpful and, like, make you be like, okay, my next video, I'm gonna try doing a lot better. I'm gonna try making it a 1 of 10, or not, maybe a 1 of 10 is like a steep goal, but I'm gonna try making it have the green up arrow, meaning it's above average. You can do that. But the thing is, that's not how it goes, at least for me, and any other creator I spoke to about this ranking, right? It just, like, kills you. Like, this is, like, the real demotivating factor. And YouTube did recently add an option which, like, good for them. So when it shows you the analytics for a video, like, on YouTube Studio, there is, like, a drop down where you can just hide it, and it will just show you the view count, comment count, like count. It won't compare it, it won't do anything else. You can just see, oh, this video has a few thousand views, cool. Or even if you're a smaller creator than me, even if your video gets, say, 10 views, you're still gonna think, that's 10 people. Like, just think about, like, 10 people, like, in a room, say, like, on a stage. I don't know, a stage is a bit dramatic, but, like, say, like, you're stood up in front of 10 people, you know? Just stood in front of 10 people, and they're all listening to you and what you have to say about your silly Fall Guys stuff, or really whatever else. You don't have to be a Fall Guys creator to understand what I'm saying. But you get that. You get that, right? Sorry, I'm struggling. I'm getting really distracted because I'm scrolling through Twitter while talking, and it was, like, really distracting. There isn't anything I actually care about on there at the moment, but Alright, let me close that. Let me try and get back to it. Sorry about that. This is Doge's Random Rants. You can expect it to be a bit random. But yeah, like, there's the option to hide that, and, like, even, like, 10 views, as I was saying, still really good. Just imagine 10 different people all paying attention to you and whatever content you've made, however much effort you've put into it. 10 people, like, chose your content, even as, like, a tiny creator. So many people still chose it. So, like, even when I used to be getting, like, 2 views, and then it went up to, like, 10 views per video, eventually goes up to, like, 90 views per video, eventually goes up to now a few thousand per video. Some videos getting like over 10k, which is insane. Like, imagining 10 people in front of you, like, okay, that is pretty cool, honestly. Like, I don't have 10 friends. Maybe some of you do. Maybe that's not that unreasonable, but if you imagine 10,000 people, or my most viewed Forest video has over 50,000 views. Just imagine 50,000 people listening to you. That's insane. Or 6,000 for the video. I'm using an example, right? The latest video I posted, a 9 of 10 in the analytics, so it's underperforming, but it says 6.2k views. Just imagine over 6,000 people. That's insane. That is nothing to be like upset about. That is nothing to be demotivated about. That should be insane. That, like, even a video that quote unquote underperforms, it still gets so many people like interested. So many people are just like gonna watch stuff even if not everyone is interested. There's still so many people who are. That should be like really motivating. But it's just like, it makes you feel like you did something wrong with the content, right? Like, you did a 1 of 10 before, why can't you do it again? You know? Like it's really a big trade-off, and plenty of YouTubers talked about this, but I really just wanted to get it out, and I think recording this has actually really helped. Like, I'm not going to ask for like likes, subscribes, anything like that on this video, but if you have any kind words, like, as a fellow content creator, or if you're not, if you're just doing, you know, if you just want to post kind words to people, help motivate people, or say anything about my content, either on this podcast or any videos you watch of me, really. It doesn't have to be this podcast. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be my videos, but the point is, like, the comments, like the numbers can be demotivating, and even when they are like really high, it is still like hard to envision those as real people, because like they are. But if you think about 6,000 people, like, you cannot imagine 6,000 people like all like that. That's just not like feasible, at least for me. Maybe some of you can, but like even 10 people I couldn't really like imagine and probably comprehend. Like, that is still a lot of people, and I'm saying 10 views as an example. Some of you might get less than 10 views, and that's okay. The point is, it's still good. And you know what, even if you get 0 views, you are still learning as a creator, and that applies for any view count, anything like that. Like, you're still getting the skills, you're still getting experience as a creator, and you're still improving as you make more content, and you've got to make mistakes and make bad content in order to make good content. I'm not saying like a video is bad because nobody watches it or less people watch it than usual, but like, if you deem it as bad, well, you've got to sort of like learn what works and what doesn't. But sometimes, like, the unpredictability of that, because like, I think that my Curse SpongeBob challenge video was like really well edited. I wasn't the one who edited it. That was my good friend Tomato Watcher who edited that. But like, the point is, I thought the editing was really good. I thought like the video turned out amazing. Maybe the thumbnail was bad, and the CTR actually showed that it was doing bad. But the point is, like, I didn't know what else to change it to, so all because I couldn't think of a good thumbnail. Like, that was completely demotivating, and that's terrible. That's like a terrible terrible mindset to have for it and everything. So yeah. Hopefully I can get over that. That would be really nice. But just talking about this in this sort of rant format. Really cool. So stay tuned for another episode in 2 Saturdays from now, on the 23rd of September, and stay tuned on the 16th and 30th of September for more episodes of Doge's Fallcast, where it'll be more high quality, talking to other people in the Fallcast community, We'll see how that goes. I'm excited to see the reception of each podcast. But I think I've ranted enough for today. Maybe I'll save some more for like YouTube rant part 2. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Like all 49, 50 minutes of this. I appreciate that. His videos are on screen, but if you're sick of my voice, I totally get it.